you ever feel like you're running on a treadmill, constantly moving, perpetually busy, yet never truly arriving? A deep sense of unfulfillment, despite a life filled with activity. Many of us experience this. We are overwhelmed by information, bombarded by entertainment, and perpetually connected. Yet beneath the surface, a quiet desperation often lingers. What if this isn't a personal failing? What if it's not about your lack of willpower or your inability to focus? What if it's a societal design, a subtle yet powerful mechanism of control? Today, we will expose this unseen prison. We will reveal how modern society, through its relentless barrage of distractions and superficial engagements, subtly imprisons individuals, preventing us from engaging with deeper truths, cultivating meaningful relationships, or pursuing genuine purpose. Are you truly free, or are you just well entertained? Prepare to question your daily habits and to confront the true cost of constant distraction. This is a path to liberation, but it begins with seeing the bars of your unseen prison. The soft cage of pleasure, Huxley's chilling prophecy. Imagine a prison, not one with concrete walls and iron bars, but one built of comfort, convenience, and endless entertainment. A place where the prisoners love their chains, because those chains are gilded with pleasure. This is the chilling vision Aldous Huxley presented in his dystopian masterpiece, Brave New World. He foresaw a society controlled not by brute force, but by engineered pleasure and distraction. A world where critical thought is sedated by constant amusement, and dissent is dissolved in a sea of superficial gratification. Huxley's prophecy is more insidious than overt oppression, because when people are constantly entertained, they lose the desire for freedom. They become docile, compliant, and easily manipulated. They trade their depth for breadth, their soul for 1,000 fleeting sensations. Neil Postman, in his seminal work, Amusing Ourselves to Death, argued that Huxley's vision, not Orwell's, was proving to be the more accurate prediction of our future. We are not oppressed by a big brother who watches our every move. We are distracted into submission by 1,000 little screens, a constant stream of fleeting information, and an endless buffet of entertainment. What if the walls of your prison aren't made of concrete, but of comfort, convenience, and endless entertainment? This soft cage is far more dangerous because you willingly enter it, and you rarely even notice you're trapped. It's a prison designed to keep you busy but empty, to keep you entertained but unfulfilled, to keep you distracted but never truly free. Consider the subtle ways this plays out in our daily lives. The moment of boredom, once a catalyst for creativity or introspection, is now instantly filled by a phone. The quiet contemplation of a walk is replaced by a podcast or music. Even our deepest anxieties are often numbed by the endless scroll, a temporary reprieve that only postpones true resolution. This isn't about judging these activities, but recognizing their cumulative effect, a constant low-level hum of stimulation that prevents us from ever truly being present, truly thinking, or truly feeling. The information overload. Drowning in data, starving for wisdom. We live in an age of unprecedented access to information. The sum of human knowledge is literally at our fingertips, yet, paradoxically, we are drowning in information, yet starving for wisdom. The constant connectivity, the endless scroll, the notifications that demand our attention, while seemingly liberating, they often lead to a superficial engagement with reality. We skim headlines, watch short clips, and consume bite-sized content. But how often do we truly delve deep? How often do we engage in sustained critical thought? This information overload creates a paradox. The more data we consume, the less we seem to understand. The more connections we make online, the less genuine connection we feel offline. Our attention, the most valuable currency, is constantly being picked from our pockets by algorithms designed to keep us engaged, not enlightened. This isn't accidental. The system thrives on your fragmented attention. It profits from your constant distraction. When your mind is perpetually occupied with the trivial, it has no space for the profound, no time for introspection, no energy for critical analysis. We mistake constant stimulation for freedom, but it's merely a more sophisticated form of control. It prevents us from asking the deeper questions, from challenging the status quo, from recognizing the subtle ways our autonomy is being eroded. The illusion of choice, presented through an endless feed of content, masks the reality of a mind increasingly incapable of choosing anything truly meaningful. Consider the impact on our decision-making. With so much information, we often feel paralyzed, unable to commit to a course of action, or conversely, we make snap judgments based on superficial data, lacking the depth of understanding required for truly informed choices. This constant influx of data, without the corresponding time for processing and reflection, leads to a state of perpetual mental indigestion. We are fed, but not nourished. We are connected, but often feel more alone than ever. The very tools designed to inform and connect us have, in many ways, become instruments of our intellectual and emotional fragmentation. The erosion of meaning. When every moment is filled, nothing is full. In a world saturated with distraction, a profound tragedy unfolds: the erosion of meaning. When every moment is filled, there's no space for introspection, for reflection, or for the pursuit of higher values. We become perpetually busy, yet profoundly unfulfilled. Think about it. When was the last time you truly sat in silence? Without a phone, without a screen, without background noise. For many, the very idea is uncomfortable. Silence forces us to confront ourselves, our thoughts, our anxieties. And modern society, through its constant hum of activity, offers us an escape from this confrontation. This constant stimulation, this perpetual busyness, prevents us from asking the big questions. Who am I? What is my purpose? What truly matters to me? These questions require space, quiet, and uninterrupted thought. But in the unseen prison of distraction, such space is rarely afforded. The greatest trick society plays is convincing you that constant stimulation is freedom, when it's merely a more sophisticated form of control. It keeps you on the surface, skimming the shallows of existence, never diving into the depths where true meaning resides. Your life becomes a series of fleeting engagements, a collection of shallow experiences, rather than a coherent narrative built on purpose and values. Consider the impact on our spiritual well-being. When we are constantly consuming, we lose the capacity to create. When we are always looking outward for stimulation, we neglect our inner world. This leads to a spiritual hollowness, a feeling of being disconnected from ourselves and from any deeper sense of purpose. The constant noise drowns out the whispers of our intuition, the call of our authentic self. We become adept at performing, but lose the art of being. This erosion of meaning is perhaps the most insidious consequence of the unseen prison, as it robs us of the very essence of a fulfilling human existence. The cost to the soul, trading depth for breadth. What are the personal consequences of living in this unseen prison of distraction? The cost to the soul is profound. We are trading our depth for breadth, our inner peace for 1,000 fleeting sensations. Firstly, there's the rise of anxiety and depression. When our minds are constantly overstimulated, they struggle to find peace. The relentless comparison on social media, the fear of missing out, the constant pressure to be on, all contribute to a heightened state of stress and dissatisfaction. We are wired for connection, but often find ourselves isolated in a crowd of digital acquaintances. Secondly, our relationships suffer. True connection requires presence, deep listening, and vulnerability. But when our attention is constantly pulled away by our devices, when we are more concerned with capturing the moment than living it, our relationships become superficial. We are physically present, but mentally absent. The profound intimacy that comes from shared, undistracted moments becomes rare. Thirdly, our ability to focus and think critically erodes. The constant switching between tasks, the short attention spans fostered by rapid-fire content, make it difficult to engage with complex problems or sustain deep work. We become adept at skimming, but lose the capacity for deep dives. This impacts our learning, our problem-solving, and our ability to innovate. Finally, and perhaps most tragically, there's a pervasive sense of unfulfillment. Despite all the noise, all the activity, all the entertainment, a hollow feeling persists, because true fulfillment comes from purpose, from meaning, from genuine connection, and from contributing something valuable to the world. When these are sacrificed at the altar of distraction, the soul starves. Are you trading your depth for breadth, your soul for 1,000 fleeting sensations? The cost is far greater than you might imagine. Consider the long-term impact on our personal development. Without dedicated time for reflection and deep learning, we stagnate. We become reactive rather than proactive, constantly responding to external stimuli instead of charting our own course. This leads to a life lived on autopilot, where our potential remains largely untapped. The constant need for external validation, fueled by social media, further erodes our self-worth, making us dependent on fleeting likes and comments rather than internal conviction. This is the true cost of the unseen prison, a life diminished, a soul starved, and a potential unfulfilled. Breaking free, the radical act of reclaiming your attention. The good news is, this prison, though unseen, is not unbreakable. The bars are made of comfort, not steel, and the key lies in a radical act of rebellion, reclaiming your attention. This isn't about abandoning technology or retreating from the world. It's about conscious choice. It's about intentionality. It's about choosing presence, silence, and deep engagement over constant distraction. Here are some actionable steps to begin breaking free from the unseen prison. 1. Cultivate digital minimalism. Consciously reduce your digital consumption. Delete unnecessary apps. Turn off notifications. Schedule specific times for checking email and social media. Create technology-free zones in your home. The goal is to use technology as a tool, not to be used by it. 2. Embrace silence and solitude. Schedule regular periods of uninterrupted silence. Go for walks without your phone. Meditate. Journal. Allow your mind to wander and process without external input. What truths might emerge from the silence? You might be surprised. 3. Prioritize deep work and deep play. Dedicate focused, uninterrupted blocks of time to meaningful tasks, whether it's your work, a creative project, or a hobby. Similarly, engage in deep play, activities that fully immerse you and bring genuine joy without the need for constant external stimulation. 4. Nurture real-world connections. Make time for face-to-face interactions. Put your phone away when you're with loved ones. Practice active listening. Invest in relationships that nourish your soul and provide genuine connection. Question the narrative. Be skeptical of the constant messages telling you to consume more, to be constantly entertained, to chase fleeting trends. Understand that your attention is the most valuable currency, and society is constantly trying to pick your pocket. Choose wisely where you invest it. Breaking free from the unseen prison is a journey, not a destination. It requires conscious effort, consistent practice, and a willingness to be uncomfortable. But the reward is immense, a life of greater presence, deeper meaning, and authentic fulfillment. A life where you are the master of your attention and therefore the master of your destiny.